Hey guys, Nika coming at you with another weekly garden update. Today is July 9th, 2023. And let me show you all the changes in the garden. I told you that things are going to be changing after the solstice, and here they go. So welcome to my channel. My name's Nika. I do weekly garden updates. I grow in containers just because I live in the Southwest and there's not a lot of water, and I can experiment with so many things. So let's get started. So guys, look at my flowers are starting to open up on this lettuce. I've been waiting for that. But in the meantime, I've been eating off of these plants. Look at that, I stripped those pretty good. I've just been eating off of this plant. It just went wild. And I've just been eating off of this plant. Lettuce is delicious. I thought it was kale, but it must be lettuce. And it might be kale, but it tastes really, really, really good. And this container is crumbling. Last year I'll be growing in this container. And then I'm probably gonna get one of these black tubs that I get at Lowe's and start growing lettuce in that type of container. This is lettuce also. That's why I'm thinking that is lettuce instead of kale. I'm not sure, but I stripped these clean. Look at that. I have been eating salads. So delicious. Parsley, not so good. I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure that one out. I'm not gonna move it because I moved it twice already. And it's been in 3 different containers this year. I'm just gonna let it settle. Here's that Veronica plant. It's starting to fruit. We'll be cooking with that. I have another plant on the other side of the yard, and I've just been experimenting with this. So we're getting fruit on there. My second basil plant is really starting to grow and thrive. So I'm excited about that. And my other basil plant, I need to start cooking with that. Let me show you what that one looks like. Hey guys, here's my other basil plant. So we need to start cooking with this. I'll start making some recipes with that next week. So I'm just gonna find some recipes. This tastes so good with, I make pesto out of it, but I have a lot of pesto in my freezer. So we're just gonna start cooking with fresh basil, making smoothies, pastas, that type of thing. I need to use this plant up. So we're going to start cooking with basil. It's starting to seed up, and that means it's just mature. And I started another one indoors, so we need to get this eaten up and start another one. Maybe we can get 3 rounds of basil. And my tomatoes are growing really good. I'm keeping them clipped. That gives you a lot of flowers. And then I'm shaking my plants. I'm shaking my tomatoes. So look at all the tomato clusters that I'm getting in my tomatoes. Plants really like these black tubs. I'm gonna get a few more of them and get some fall cool weather plants started in them too. Look at that. Different tomatoes. This one's actually, I don't know if you've seen the other videos I have. I'll leave those in the description box below. But this one I didn't know if it was going to make it, but it's going to make it. So I might have to buy a tomato cage for it. I was hoping just to grow it up this board, a post, but I don't know. I keep those posts in there because the cats get in my containers and they tear up my plants. So if you put posts in them, they won't bother your plants too much. So I wanted to get one of those post tomato plant holders. I can't find them. I've seen them around, but I haven't seen any this year. This little red tiny husky tomato is doing good. Look at it's clustering up. But this black cherry tomato, it's getting big, but it's not producing much fruit. So guys, this is not a marigold. I let this thing grow. I showed you them coming up earlier, and I thought they were marigolds, but they're not. So I'm just gonna yank this plant. It is just taking nutrients from this tomato. This tomato will grow a lot better. This is another one. I'm just going to get a tomato cage for it because it's split into 3 different stems. And when it does that, you kind of need a tomato cage. So I'm going to go buy some. Hopefully I can find some. Tomato cages, sometimes they're hard to find later on in the year. So I'm going to go look and see if they have them at Home Depot. Hopefully they do. So I just yanked that. I thought it was a marigold, but it's not. And my pepper plant's starting to pick up. These will produce fruit later on, like in August and September. And we'll cook with that. That's an orange pepper. Look, guys, I'm starting to get carrots. They're starting to grow, but they're growing in the wrong pot. Maybe this is the type of pot they like. I have another video on carrots. I'll leave that link in the description box below, how to grow carrots. They grow good in these round pots for some reason, plastic pots. So maybe I'll grow them in tubs. I do have some carrots starting to sprout in this pot. You see these, they're all over online. You can buy these cloth pots and they have this little peak window in the bottom. But they, for some reason, these carrots really like this pot. Isn't that really, look at that. They're getting big. Just boggles my mind. So guys, I finally harvested my potatoes and that's all I got. And the brown ones didn't even grow. I'm not real crazy about these grow bags. That's all I got. So far I've tried to grow potatoes in plastic. I've tried to grow potatoes in these grow bags. What else did I try to grow them in? So I heard cardboard's good. And I'm thinking I'm going to try to grow in wood. So I'm not sure what I'm going to grow in next time. But I do have some potatoes that I need to plant. This is a good time to plant them in the middle of the summer. And then you usually harvest around December. So I'm so disappointed. That's all I got. Okay, guys, and this is my wild spinach. This plant is mature. It's time to cook with it. We're going to have to harvest it and do something with it before it's just not edible anymore. So, and there's a few other ones around the yard. We're just going to pick these. Well, I have to do a cooking video with this week. So that'll be fun. Here's my mint, guys. It's doing really good. Mint is so easy to grow. It's one of the easiest things to grow ever. You can plant it pretty much anywhere and it just loves it. Here's my sunflowers, guys. They're doing really good. Look at that one. That one looks like one of those big sunflowers. It's gonna have a good sized flower. They're doing pretty good. I have some garlic growing, guys. I planted this in the middle of the spring, and for some reason right now it's doing pretty good. That's okay. I can always use garlic. My broccoli's doing good. I might have to put some more diatomaceous dirt on there. Just because there's a lot of holes in the leaves. And this one's doing good. My peas are not doing good. These are starting to dry up. And I'm thinking it's the type of peas, because these are snow peas. And these ones here are just regular sweet peas. And I was told there's just a small window when you can grow peas. So I might be yanking those. But I've been trying to keep, any matured peas off of them because they're just turning yellow. It's kind of strange. I planted these way back in the spring just to give them a chance to experiment with them. I'm not sure what's going on. My green beans are doing good. Look at that. And I'm even getting a little new green bean plant growing in this. It's not too late to plant green beans. They're a cool weather plant. So my green beans are doing a lot better. I'm getting excited about that because I have purple. If you can see that, I have purple and just regular green beans in here. So we'll see if that produces. These pots, I'm so excited about them this year. And then I have my celery. It's still seeding up. I have just a little patch right there that's turning brown. And we just gotta wait on this. There's another little patch over here. If you can see it, it's turning brown too. So we're gonna harvest this celery seed because you can use celery seeds on a lot of different recipes. And then I have this lettuce. I'm gonna yank this. I'm gonna yank this off of there because it has a lot of lettuce that's growing at the base of this pot. And I eat a lot of salad, so I love when I have lettuce, availability of lettuce. And that's why I've just been leaving these, because I've just been grabbing this lettuce off of these stems. And it's so good, so good. Then here's my squash. I only have one little leaf that has a hole in it. But my squash is doing really good. I've been leaving these marigolds in here, hoping that they'll keep the squash bugs away. That's a good experiment. I live in zone 7, southwest, high altitude. It's very arid here, so that's why maybe marigolds work in this zone. And then I have some ginger that's coming up. Last week this shoot came up, and now this little shoot right there is coming up. So I love ginger. You can do so much with it. I put it in smoothies. You can make candy with it. I do a lot of stir fries with it. There's a lot of recipes that you can use ginger. And then the leaves you can make tea. So I love ginger. And then this pot, I harvested those cilantro seeds out of this pot. So we're gonna have to do something else with this pot. And I'm just gonna grab this lettuce right here. Probably make a salad here soon. Maybe today. Guys, look at my asparagus. It's just, it is a grass. I am convinced that this is just grass. But I love asparagus, so I'm gonna just let it do its thing. I put it in one of those big black tubs right there, and I'm glad it's finally growing. See guys, I'm gonna have to move this raspberry because the fruit dried up. If you look at that, and now the leaves are curling. See how they're curling? So I'm gonna move this raspberry plant to a shadier spot. I just don't think it can handle all of this sun. I'm gonna move this raspberry plant, and we're gonna move this blueberry plant. I just think there's just too much sun. That's the great thing about container gardening. You can move your plants and try different things out. Experiment very well. They're not just, you know, you made the mistake and you gotta learn next year. You can move them around. You can take dirt out. It's a good thing. So I'll be moving those here shortly. I just have to find a good spot for them. Okay guys, so it's time to fertilize. I'm using this Age Old Fertilizer, and they have 3 kinds. One is Grow, one is Fish and Seaweed, and the other one is Bloom. I use the Fish and Seaweed for a lot of the plants because they're in between growing and blooming. And then we're going to use this Bloom on the tomatoes, cucumbers, and the okra. Those are flowering plants right now, so we're going to use this type on those. And notice that they have the numbers on there, 1266 for Grow. It's 332 for the Fish and Seaweed, and it's 5105 for the Bloom. That number indicates how much nitrogen, phosphate, and potassium is in each type in that order. So the 1266 has 12 parts nitrogen, 6 parts phosphate, and 6 parts potassium. Same way with the fish and seaweed. Same way with the bloom. It has 5 parts nitrogen, 10 parts phosphate, and 5 parts potassium. That's a good combination for blooming your plants. So we're going to fertilize our plants today. You should fertilize at least once a month, if not every other week. So I like this fertilizer. It works really good. So let's get started fertilizing our plants. I'm going to put the bloom fertilizer on each one of these tomato plants, any flowering plants that I have, and I'm going to put it on my cucumbers. And we're going to put some of this bloom on these cucumbers. That'll help them flower a little better. Okay guys, so we're going to fertilize these peas with fish emulsion. I'm thinking because there's a vitamin deficiency, that's why these are yellowing. So I'm hoping this fertilizer is going to help them some. I'm also going to put some of this fish emulsion on these green beans. I'm hoping that'll help. Look at the size of these flowers for these cucumbers. These, I think, are heirloom cucumbers that I'm growing. They almost look like squash. They're starting to baffle me, but I'm getting excited about all the cucumbers I'm getting. I clipped, see guys right there, these little fruit. I'm gonna take that off there because that's gonna not be very good for your plants. You'll get more produce if you take these little bottom ones off. See that yellow one right there? You don't want that on your plant. That could stop the maturity of your plants. All these little bottom premature ones, you want to make sure those are off of there. I don't see any more, but when you see those, pick them off, like that one. So guys, look at my okra. Look at it. It's blooming. I love these okra flowers. Look at it. Isn't that beautiful? And I'm getting a lot of okra. Watch. Lots of okra in here. We don't want these to get too big. Look at that cluster right there. We don't want these to get too big or they get really stringy. So we're gonna harvest some of this okra in here. That one might even be too big right there. Look at all of these clusters. I'm getting a lot of okra this year. So we will be cooking with this. Yum. All right, guys, let's harvest this okra. See how many we get. Seems like the flowers, they come in the morning and then they dry up at night. They're really pretty flowers. Okay guys, that's all we can get. Pretty good. That's a pretty good harvest. Yum. Guys, I have my onion. It's doing good. Look at that big old onion. So, I love onions. They're not ready to pick yet, but I will be picking some of those soon. I need to transplant this lettuce. I still haven't done it. And look at the flowers though on this. Look, there's a bee in there. He is pollinating that plant. Isn't that pretty? Just moved to that one. up. He is moving up that tree of lettuce, but look at all the lettuce. I don't want to disrupt this, so I'm glad I didn't transplant it yet. Look at how pretty those flowers are. Aren't those beautiful? And I have lettuce that I'm trying to eat up, so this is fine. I'm just going to keep it watered, and it should be fine. For some reason, I have a lot of hornets around here. Yikes. My broccoli's doing good. Look at that. It's doing really good. Look at that. And I have some marigolds in here. And it seems to be helping. But that diatomaceous dirt, seems to help the best on here. So I'll be putting some diatomaceous dirt on here because it does help the best. So my broccoli's doing good. I might be moving this Veronica plant. It doesn't like this spot. It just doesn't like this spot. So we're gonna move this to another spot. Okay guys, so that's my weekly garden update. I want to thank you for sharing your time with me. Thank you for joining me on my videos. Thank you for every like, share, subscribe. You guys have a wonderful day. See you on the next video. Bye.